Welcome to the podcast Stemme for Palestina Rogaland, meaning Voices for Palestine in Rogaland County on the west coast of Norway. The show is published by Palestinakomiteen in Stavanger, also known as the Palestinakomiteen of Stavanger. The Palestinakomiteen of Stavanger is a local branch of Palestinakomiteen, a nationwide Norwegian Palestine solidarity organization going back to the 70s. In this episode, we once again speak with Naseer Arafat, who has been Twin City coordinator between Nablus and Stavanger for many years. And this time we get to learn about the handcrafted artwork made by Nisreen al-Barghouti that was gifted to the city of Stavanger during the 900th jubilee of Stavanger city in June. We also go into the role of cultural institutions when witnessing displacement, occupation and genocide, and what Norwegian institutions of culture could do, according to Arafat, who himself has worked with cultural heritage all his life. The interview was done while he was visiting as part of the official delegation from Nablus during Stavanger city's 900th jubilee in June. The interview was done outside the Stavanger cathedral as to show the inspiration for the gift that was handcrafted ceramic work based on the design of one of the cathedral windows. Due to logistics, this interview had to be done without this podcast's other half, Rima Kiblavi. However, she has been involved in preparation and finalization of the episode. We are pointing this out because myself, Andreas, is not Palestinian, and therefore the line of questioning in this interview is limited due to a lack of lived experience when it comes to the displacement aspect of the Palestinian identity. However, we, the Palestinakomiteen in Stavanger, have made sure that Palestinians are leading the way when it comes to the production of this podcast and all other solidarity actions that we are undertaking. And we hope that you'll find this episode insightful. Enjoy and free Palestine.
Yesterday, Stavanger celebrated the 900 years of establishment. And for us, it was our participation as a friendship city, sister city to Stavanger, represented by the mayor, an artist from Nablus, and myself with other members from the municipality who came, all of us, extended family members, to present a small gift on this occasion to the people of Stavanger. In fact, why we are standing here is to show you what it was the gift, which is this window behind me that inspired us about a geographical link between Nablus and Stavanger. And if I read the story behind the window, in fact, if you look at the map, and you draw a line between the side door of the cathedral with this window, and you go ahead with it, it will come to Nablus. And vice versa, the winter sun glare or sun rays, when the sun rises in winter in Nablus, and if you draw a line of this sun rays from Nablus in winter, it will come parallel to this line, if not on the same line. So that was the inspiration behind the choice of this window. And as you know, window for people, it's the openness to the world, and where the light come in the dark. And it is where all the dreams of Palestinian prisoners come out as well. And it is for us in this kind of situation, we called it the window of friendship rays between Nablus and Stavanger. So that little window was carved by ceramic, and with all its details, I think for 4 or 5 months work in carving. And it was presented to the mayor of Stavanger to tell that through this window we express our warm feelings, peaceful, because the cathedral is the most peaceful place with peacefulness and friendship that come from Nablus through the window, through the door, out to the city to tell the people of Stavanger, happy birthday to your city, and we are friends who share nice moments together.
That is a brilliant way of putting it. Could you tell us a bit more about the artists?
Nisreen al-Barghouti isn't here.
But you could speak of.
Yeah, it's unfortunate she had to leave us now, but she is the artist who made the Nablus miniature in the exhibition at the museum in Stavanger in 2014. 11 years ago, she was here and she presented her work with ceramic work at the museum in Stavanger. She has been doing a lot of work in ceramic carving to show the monuments in Nablus and Jerusalem and other parts of Palestine. And now she extended her work to Stavanger in Norway.
While these cultural exchanges are, as you say, clearly very important to especially twin cities, we unfortunately can't avoid the fact that Palestine, and specifically Gaza, has been under a horrible genocide for the past year and a half. Some people would, and probably Palestinians and non-Palestinians, would maybe ask, okay, so you're from Nablus, you're spending your time and your resources on coming to Norway. Why?
To say thank you. I think we would never be able to become free without the support of human beings. And coming here actually has two major meanings. The first one is to tell the world that we insist to survive, and we insist to live our life, and we insist to tell the occupiers that no matter how difficult you make our life is, our good life continues and will continue until occupation is over. And we get rid of occupation and we become living as normal as others, free on our free Palestine. That's one message. There is a second message, which is also very important, and I said it, immediately when you asked the question, is to thank you. Thank the people who think of Palestine, and in particular the people of Stavanger who participate in the demonstrations every other week, and the people of Gaza see them. It's not only the people of Nablus. Many people around the world have taken a lot of effort, a lot of their time, a lot of their free time to demonstrate against the genocide that is taking place in Gaza. And recently we have seen many people in their own context supporting the demonstrations, at least by feelings or clapping or eye-telling, sending peaceful, supportive messages to the people who demonstrate. And believe me, all that reach us. We see it, we appreciate it, and you deserve to receive at least this little gift to tell you thank you for all you are doing for Palestine. Gaza is in our bleeding heart all the time. Gaza is in our thoughts every single moment. And I think you cannot live normal as a human being and enjoy normal life and until when this genocide is over and people of Gaza return to their home and rebuild their home, which they insist to do.
Thank you for that. And I would just like to add in another question about friendship. Because you told me already about that with friends, you can and should be asking for a bit more than your non-friends.
Yeah.
And I know that you consider Norway a friend, right? But then the question is in regards to your acknowledgement and appreciation for the support from demonstrations around the cities of Norway and so forth. Are there room to do more and I'm not talking necessarily about people who are demonstrating, I'm talking about cultural institutions. Could they do more? And if so, what are some of the things that they could do? Because in spite of people should, in my own opinion, public institutions, cultural institutions especially, should be asking themselves what we can do. They should do their own research. But while you're here, I think it's important to ask you, what do you think museums, art centers and so forth could be doing now, if anything?
Well, I think it's a very important question that is raising the issue of honest learning. Many media associations are paid to tell the story that Zionism wants them to tell the world. And this is the major stream of false education about Palestine and even many other issues around the world. We have seen companies who make false advertisements for harmful kind of food in order to sell it, no matter how this can affect human beings who buy their products, etc., etc. And the same thing applies to the real, honest story telling about who the Palestinians are, what is the root of this conflict, how did it start, is it true that some people still believe that this was homeless land for homeless people? Is it true that the Palestinian people have never existed before, and this kind of conflict is something that is against the Jews who suffered from the Nazists? Is it true that, or is it true that the Palestinians are the ones who welcomed the expelled Jews from Europe who were kicked out by the Nazis, and they offered them food and etc., shelter, etc., and then they occupied them, you know? What was the role of the British in this kind of conflict? What was Balfour Declaration? This man who represent Zionism actually, who gave a land he never owned or his country never owned for people and considered the people of Palestine as non-nation. So, I mean, there are so many issues and information that has been falsely told to the people about this conflict, about the right of Palestinians of their homeland, and I think it is the time for humanity to take the lead, and honesty to take the lead in learning. We have seen many leaders in the world who now feel that this is a personal issue. It's not something related to this position of being a prime minister or a minister or a king or whatever. It's your human nature, being a human being, to stop against what's happening in Gaza. It's not about your position or your political status, etc., etc. It's about you as a human being to be against the genocide. So I think now it is the time for everyone who has some kind of knowledge to dig more into real, honest knowledge about the cause of Palestine and take an important role in educating others. And this is obligatory to everyone who wants to be honest. And I think many people in Stavanger and in Norway are honest, more honest than many others.
Thank you for that answer. My question to that is, there are sort of two questions in this. In one way, you have cultural institutions across Norway, which from your answer, I interpret it, correct me if I'm wrong, but I interpret it as an encouragement to the Norwegian cultural sector to use their knowledge, to use their facilities, to use their resources to speak about this through their work, say through their exhibitions and so forth. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yes. This is the time to use the cultural arena to tell the honest story about the real culture of the Palestinian people and the real origin of conflict and what exactly it means to live under occupation. And believe me, from my long experience coming to this city with so many young people and teachers, etc., I could feel that by teaching the younger generation about the suffering of the Palestinians, you are making them more detached, more believers in their own system, and more appreciating their own country. And I think it has, as we always look for, to make it a win-win kind of relationship. We are very keen on your children and your young people to live and continue living in prosperity and joy and learn and take the lead on your national resources, especially oil, etc. And all that. And that is what friendship means. It's a win-win kind of relation that we are very much keen on maintaining it, improving it, and use it as a window, as this window for better learning about that far away city in Palestine.
I think that was a brilliant way to connecting your gift to your answer.
Thank you.
Very, very moving. But then again, there's a question of the theme of neutrality, because some cultural institutions see themselves as neutral in the way that they are in the way that they are practicing their craft in relation to what they exhibit and what they talk about and how they talk about it. What is your response to that? Are cultural institutions neutral? Can they be? Should they be?
I think this is a false approach, because you cannot confront your mind to think better unless you have a challenge. And you cannot win unless you have a challenge. You cannot be named a winner unless you compete. And challenging the knowledge in a way that can help the challenger to find ways and means to learn from it, I think this is the best way of learning. I tell you one example related to the normal climate that does not have a challenge, which is, for example, in Africa at the equator line. And these people, because they have 24 hours, 365 days of the same kind of weather, if you experience living in that kind of climate and situation, you find that people are so calm, they don't have intention to make it fast, everything goes slowly, and that's it. That's a way of life that climate has put it on themselves. If you live by the sea, you have more peaceful inside. If you live on the mountains, you are more stubborn, you see. And I think this kind of psychological influence on the personality is well known and well seen everywhere. When it comes to what you call neutrality, I think it does not have a challenge. It does not encourage critical thinking. So on one way, it is important to let people see the white and the black and decide if they want to go in the gray in the middle, which is normal, or if they want to look at other colors, which can show better the color they like and make them choose the color they like. That is as simple as that. But I think in the case of Norway, Palestine, if I were a Norwegian, I would expose my children to hardship situations all over the world and make them believe that this is worth keeping and improving and enjoying.
So, am I understanding you correct that you are basically saying that it's not the job of the cultural institutions to be neutral, it's their job to present what is happening?
and to present the varieties as well.
Yes, the nuances.
Yes. I think in terms of art, if they are art centers, in terms of poetry, if they are going into literature, and so on and so forth. So I think the challenge, the positive way of approaching challenge in everything is the best way of learning.
And while I agree with what you're saying, I know that some cultural institutions across Norway feel that Palestine is a topic in which they don't work with. There are museums who are concerned with seafair. There are museums who are concerned with, the farming industry, technological development. So when hearing that, what goes through your mind? Are they correct? Can they argue that that Palestine is not relatable, or are there possibilities and opportunities to do something still?
Well, I think every single city in anywhere on earth should be a place where somebody can learn something from it, no matter it's in Africa, Asia, or even anywhere in the world. Even a small island in the ocean. There is something to learn from the land, the nature, or the people. When I say people, I say culture, etc., etc. If you are talking about history and archaeology, Nablus has been established 5,000 years ago. And the new Nablus is 2,000 years old. What can you learn from archaeology in this kind of context? That's one thing. And when it comes to art and painting, etc., etc., I know my aunt, for example. She is a lady whose father was a very religious leader who enabled her or sent her to study as far as Cambridge in 1952 and to study art coming out from the old city of Nablus. So there is a kind of art at least that goes back to 70 years ago and still going. So many artists, not only in Nablus but in Palestine in general. And if you are in architecture, for example, I mean, the medieval city is expressed in the old city of Nablus, which was built around the 15th century. But there is the old city of Jerusalem as well. And when you say Jerusalem, you can start and never end before a month talking about what Jerusalem has. Not only in terms of architecture, history, religion, conflict, everything. I think we have a very rich, authentic culture, the same as you do, and there is a very nice arena, a stage, a theater, a hall, a place, a land, anything that we can learn from each other, and we can enjoy what younger generation can bring us from their new learning about each other.
Is there so that there is an opportunity then for museums that think and feel that they can't really talk about Palestine because they don't work within sort of, say, a history museum, for instance? They feel like maybe some museums would feel like, oh, a history museum is better suited, or maybe an archaeology museum would be better suited. But as I hear you talk about this, it sounds like there are possibilities to do these connections across different topics, say, for instance, with perhaps olive farming and connecting that to the Norwegian type of farming. Maybe there are, because I am aware that with Gaza there has been a lot of fishing, right? And this is a part of the pattern, the fishnet pattern in the kofia, Palestinian scarf. Is that correct as well?
Yes.
Yes.
And the clothes you use for wounds, it comes from Gaza. That's the origin of it.
So exciting. So here there are, as I'm hearing you, there are possibilities for museums that feel that they shouldn't be connecting to Palestine to actually connect. Is that so?
Well, what my answer to that would be, I would like to host somebody from the museums in Stavanger, so I'm calling it openly through you now, responding to your answer, to come on a well-organized archaeological tour to Nablus and Palestine, and let them decide if there is something they can expose through their own facilities to the people of Stavanger. I am sure there is, but it may take us long to talk about it. I don't want to advertise it in a way, but I am very honest in inviting and welcoming a group of archaeologists, museum workers, directors, whoever, anytime allows them to come and be my guest to see what kind of archaeological findings or cultural activities or artistic places or products that we can make some kind of exhibition on that. And by the way, I am telling you a small secret, which will not be anymore, that I am since 6 years or 7 years trying to figure out elements from the old city of Stavanger that can be formulated in a mini Stavanger to be exhibited in Nablus. And I hope in the real near future there will be a small city of Stavanger exhibited for the people of Nablus to express to them and learn them about this sister city. The same as we did for Nablus and Stavanger in 2014.
I think that was a brilliant way to end. Are there any last things you want to mention that I haven't brought up?
Yeah, apart from thanking you, Andreas, and all your colleagues for this wonderful opportunity to speak to the people of Stavanger, I would like to thank everyone in this lovely city who made an effort to learn about Palestine and be in favor of honesty, justice, humanity, in favor of freedom for these people who are still suffering from occupation, and also invite those who still believe in the old thinking that never had any proof about the justice for Palestine to better learn about the reality and the honest story of the Palestinian people. Tusen tack.
You have just listened to an episode of Stemmer for Palestina Rogaland, meaning Voices for Palestine in Rogaland County on the west coast of Norway. The show is published by Palestinakomiteen in Stavanger, also known as the Palestinakomiteén of Stavanger. The Palestinakomiteen of Stavanger is a local branch of Palestinakomiteen, a nationwide Norwegian Palestine solidarity organization going back to the 70s. Feel free to forward any feedback to the contact info in the show notes. The podcast show's regular hosts are Rima Kublavi and myself, Andreas Lange. Recording producer was Borghild Nerheim from Vandrefilm Production Company. The logo was done by Bjørg Sabrin Timras. The soundtrack was composed, recorded and produced by Saher Hamoudeh, leader of the Palestinakomiteen in Stavanger, and the track is called Samud, meaning steadfastness. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and Free Palestine!